Welcome to Recap Cinema. Today we will recap the movie Avatar: The Way of Water. In the beginning of the movie, we see Jake recalling his life since joining the Na'vi as chief of the Metkayina clan. He and Neytiri have become parents to Neytiri, Lak, and Tuk, along with another adopted daughter, Kiri, who is the biological daughter of Grace Augustine's Na'vi avatar. The kids also spend time with a human boy, Spider, who was left behind with the human scientists after the previous group evacuated Pandora since babies couldn't be put into cryostasis. At night, Jake sees RDA ships begin to descend upon Pandora, destroying huge parts of the forest and killing the wildlife. Jake and Neytiri get their children and the other Na'vi to safety. 1 year later, Quaritch wakes up and attacks his former teammates, all now in their own Na'vi skins. Quaritch soon realizes what happened after watching a video. After gathering their new weapons, Quaritch decides to lead a team back onto Pandora with one goal in mind: killing Jake. The RDA has colonized Pandora and built a mining base, Bridgehead City. Jake leads several Na'vi to fly their Ikran to attack the humans' aircraft and supply lines. Neytiri and Lak attempt to join the fight, nearly getting severely injured in the process. Jake gets them to safety but chastises them for putting themselves in the line of fire. The group returns to their camp with the rest of the clan. Jake discusses with Neytiri how these changes are impacting their children's lives. Meanwhile, Spider joins Lak and Kiri as they go to the humans' research facility, and Kiri talks to Grace's avatar as her body lies in the tank. Spider then notes that his Na'vi friends at least know their parents, while he knows and resents that his father was Quaritch. Quaritch and his team arrive at their base and meet General Ardmore, who updates them on their operations since his time is over. Ardmore informs them of the advantages the Metkayina have over them before telling them how they can gain their own upper hand. The team enters the forest at the exact same time that Jake's kids and Spider are playing there. While Kiri immerses herself in nature, the other kids spot Quaritch and his team as they survey the former Link unit for humans and their avatars. He finds his skeleton inside the MP suit where he was killed. The villains find the kids, and they realize they're Jake's kids because they have 5 fingers. Quaritch meets Spider and realizes he is the boy's father. Quaritch calls on Ardmore and her squad to come down while he takes the other kids as hostages. Jake and Neytiri are alerted to the scene, and both are stunned to see their nemesis alive and in a Na'vi body. Neytiri kills some of Quaritch's team before they open fire. She and Jake manage to get their kids back, but Quaritch and his surviving teammates fall back, taking Spider with them. Ardmore subjects the boy to a torture method to get him to disclose information on the clan's location, but Quaritch stops her and opts to try and get closer to Spider to earn his trust. He convinces Spider to ride along with him on their mission. Jake talks to Neytiri about having to leave the clan now that they are being targeted. While Neytiri doesn't want to leave her home, Jake assures her that it is best for their children and the rest of the clan. He passes on leadership to another warrior, Tarsem, and he leaves the clan with Neytiri and their children. They fly their Ikran and head towards the eastern seaboard to the home of the Metkayina clan of Na'vi. The clan gathers with their leader, Tanaweri, and his pregnant wife, Ronal. Jake requests shelter for the sake of his family, though Ronal and other tribesmen are quick to look down on Jake and his kids for their half-human heritage as well as the potential of bringing their dangers to this land. However, Tanaweri allows them to stay and also instructs his children, Ainung and Syria, to show Jake's children how to adapt to their oceanic surroundings. Quaritch and his team take Spider through the forest, with Spider becoming their translator for the Na'vi language that the team is still trying to learn. Quaritch also manages to link himself to his own Ikran. Jake's kids join Ainung, Syria, and Ainung's friend Roxo as they explore the reef. Syria shows that they communicate with underwater creatures via sign language, and they link to them the same way the Metkayina link to their animals. However, when Lak attempts to connect to a creature, he is pulled quickly through the water and thrown off. Meanwhile, Kiri has a more natural connection to the creatures and helps one of them interact with Tuk. Jake and Neytiri are shown how to fly the Tsurak, which can move in the air as well as underwater. Lak gets closer to Syria, who shows him how to improve his breathing underwater. She also takes him and his sisters deeper underwater by using creatures that provide air when resting on their backs. However, Ainung and Roxo are antagonistic towards Kiri for being considered a half-breed, leading to Lak punching Ainung in the face. Neytiri joins in the fight along with Ainung's friends, leading to Jake scolding his sons for their behavior. Jake forces Lak to apologize to Ainung. He does so, and Ainung invites Lak to hunt with him and his friends. They go far enough until they trick Lak into going after a creature, just before he and his creature are attacked by an Aquila that kills Lak's mount before chasing after him. Lak attempts to swim back up before he runs out of breath, but Aquila attempts to go for the kill until Lak is saved by a whale-like creature named Payakan. Lak follows Payakan and finds a harpoon stuck in his fin, so he removes it and earns Payakin's trust. Jake speaks to Kiri, who has been feeling different lately due to what she has been seeing. She claims she can feel the heartbeat of their goddess, Iwa. Jake assures her that there is nothing wrong with her. Everyone then sees Layak return, and Tanueri scolds Aenung for leading Layak beyond the reef when it is forbidden, but Layak takes the blame for everything to spare Aenung from getting in trouble. Jake tells Layak that he has shamed the family with his actions, but Aenung comes to respect Layak. Layak tells his siblings and other fellows about his encounter with Payakin, but Syria informs Layak that Metkayina is considered an outcast among the other Tulkun. After Layak attempts to communicate with Payakin to learn more about his history, Syria takes the others towards the cove of their ancestors, showing them how the land looks during the eclipse. She also guides them underwater to the Tree of Souls. When Kiri connects herself to the tree, she is able to see and communicate with grace. However, Kiri soon suffers a terrible seizure, and her siblings bring her back to the shore. Jake gets Norm and Max to try and help Kiri, but they are of no help until Ronald tries her hand and is able to revive Kiri. Norm tells Jake that any vision she thinks she is seeing might be a result of frontal lobe epilepsy. Quaritch's teammate Lyle informs him of a radar signal picked up off the gunship that Norm and Max came in on. The villains then meet up with a whaling vessel operated by Captain Mick and Dr. Ian, which gives them more of an advantage since they're already hunting Tulkun for anti-aging remedies. Soon, Quaritch and his team show up. They mercilessly kill a Tulkun and threaten a Metkayina woman unless they disclose the location of Jake and his family. Spider becomes horrified and tries to get his father to stop. The villains then begin to burn down their trees and homes. Quaritch orders his team to attack to draw Jake to them. Layak once again tries to ask Payakin what he did to make him an outcast. Payakin opens his mouth and allows Layak to enter him and link with him. Layak sees Payakin's memories and sees that he attacked the whalers because they killed his mother and family. Layak attempts to relay this new information to the Metkayina, but Jake tries to shut him up so that they do not risk it further. Layak talks to Syria about this, and she believes in him. The whalers begin their attack, launching harpoons filled with inflatables and piercing the fins of the Tulkun. After collecting their material from her, Ronal and the other Metkayina arrive, and Ronal wails in agony at the loss of her soul sister and her child. Tanueri and Ronal, along with dozens of angry Metkayina, turn their ire towards Jake for leading the villains to their land. Jake points out that the Tulkun will be marked for death with the whalers' trackers, and he tells the Metkayina to warn the Tulkun before more of them are killed. Layak heads off to warn Payakin, despite Netayam's warnings against it. He follows his brother, along with Syria, Aenung, and others. They find Payakin, already hit by a tracker. Netayam contacts Jake to alert him, and he and Neytiri head off to rescue their kids. The whalers initiate their attack, going after the kids. Jake and Neytiri are joined by Metkayina warriors in the fight. The kids are captured in the struggle and are held prisoner on the vessel. When Jake and company arrive, Quaritch orders him to stand down, holding Layak at gunpoint to show he's serious. Jake prepares to surrender himself until Payakin sees his soul brother in danger, so he leaps out of the water and slams down onto the vessel, taking some whalers down in the process. The Navi use this moment to charge into battle. With help from Payakin and the Metkayina, they are able to kill most of the whalers. Scoresby attempts to harpoon Payakin, but he manages to wrap the wire around their boat, killing the men and severing Scoresby's arm in the process. The kids escape, and Kiri uses her powers to manipulate the ocean environment to kill some whalers. Spider also turns on the other humans and rejoins his Navi family. In the midst of the battle, Netayam rescues his siblings and their friends, but he is shot. The family gets to a rock where they attempt to help Netayam, but he succumbs to his wounds. Neytiri wails in despair at the loss of her son, and the rest of the family is devastated. Quaritch contacts Jake, revealing he has Kiri and Tuck as his hostages. Jake heads into the sinking vessel for the final showdown, accompanied by Neytiri, Spider, and Layak. Neytiri ruthlessly slaughters Quaritch's team in retribution for Netayam, just as Jake goes to face his nemesis. After Jake frees Tuck, Quaritch emerges with Kiri and a knife to her throat. Neytiri grabs Spider and threatens his life in return. Although Quaritch tries to deny his care for and relationship with the boy, he relents and lets Kiri go after Neytiri cuts Spider across his chest. Neytiri brings the kids to safety, and Jake decides to end it with Quaritch, fighting to the death. The vessel starts to come down completely, trapping the family underwater. Jake fights Quaritch until he manages to get him in a chokehold and let him sink underwater. Layak helps him breathe the way Syria showed him, and they escape with Payakin. Meanwhile, Kiri summons the underwater creatures to help her get Neytiri and Tuck out of there. Spider swims to save Quaritch, but he abandons him for his evil deeds and rejoins Jake's family. Jake takes him in as a son. Jake prepares to bid Tonawari farewell, but he tells Jake that he and his family are Metkayina now and are welcome to stay. The family then holds a funeral for Neytiri, where his body is given to the Tree of Souls, and they are told that he is now with Iwa. Jake and Neytiri link themselves to the tree, where they are able to see Neytiri through memories. Jake, recognizing this land as his family's new home, vows to continue to fight and protect them. And that's the end of this recap. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.